And this whole time, of course, if anyone has questions, etc., please jump in anytime. Either chat box, I'll try to keep an eye on that, or the, you know, if you want to just unmute yourself and share or have a question that way, that's great too. And I'm recording this and we'll send this out later. And I will also share this Google Slides presentation because I tried to make a good amount of it clickable with different links for anything I'm mentioning. So just FYI that you'll have all that later. So, and you can, of course, if you want, try to create a Bitmoji Classroom as we go, but it might be easier just to kind of follow along and then go back after. And if you need to reference anything in the recording, which I'll send later today, or the actual slides presentation, you'll have those to use. So I'm going to do my best to share all of what I think are the important pieces of this. And while I love technology and play with it a lot, this is pretty new to me. So I'm by no means an expert, but I have done a good amount of playing around with it, research. I created my Bitmoji a few years ago because I guess that's when this app came out. But I, you know, just recently with this whole remote learning thing, heard about these classrooms that I think a lot of us as teachers have heard about, seen, tried. So I'm going to go through these different pieces of it. And so I guess actually to start out, I'll first show you the website for Bitmoji, for creating your Bitmoji, but then I will also screen share this iPad I have just to show you around the actual, because the only way you can create your actual little Bitmoji person is either on a tablet or a phone. So I can't actually show you that piece on here. So I linked this directly to the website. So if I go over to the Bitmoji website, you know, this is what it looks like. And if you on your tablet either go, or a phone, go to your app store, or even just search the actual site in your browser on your phone, you can download it with whatever type of device you have to get the app. But the other piece I want to mention while I'm on the website is you can add it to your desktop. So like I've done that to my Chrome browser. So I have, you know, a bunch of little extensions up here, including this Bitmoji little extension. So if I click on that, my little person is down here, and, you know, I can search around. I'd heard to search pose if you're trying to find, you know, just an actual person without text and such, because a lot of them will have words like good morning or hello, etc. So if you want to find just a person standing, well, there are some down here with words, but I think you get the picture. So I'm now actually going to screen share my iPad. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a minute and go back and share this via AirPlay. So just give me a second here. And now you should see my iPad. So I'm actually already in the Bitmoji app, and if you are just opening it, you will, you know, have to create an account. And I must confess, I have 3 accounts, because I had one, but then my kids, when they saw me playing around with it, I set them each up an account with 2 different email addresses. One with, this is actually one of my personal emails. One of them has my work email. They're playing with it in the other room right now. I can hear them. So if you have a need to create various ones, but you'll see once you get in there, you can create your person like this. I feel like as I get older, I'm gonna have to keep changing it, add some more wrinkles, etc. Maybe make my hair shorter, because I think it's shorter now than when I made it a couple years ago. But you have lots of options for playing around with this, changing your hair color, skin color, jewelry, clothing, etc. So, and I can go back and change it anytime. So if I wanted to do that, I could, if you know it's winter time and I want to change my clothing so it's more wintry, etc. So I just wanted to kind of show you that these different pieces. Oh yeah, and here's fashion. I'm not going to do any changes right now, but I just wanted to show how that's possible. So basically kind of that first step is creating your Bitmoji. I'm going to stop sharing that and go back to my screen.
Maureen, I played around with it a few weeks ago and I was able to take a selfie and it created it for me. So I didn't need to go in and choose my hairstyle and stuff like that.
Yes, you're right. I forgot that piece because when I created it a couple years ago, that was not an option. But when my kids it was maybe like a week or two ago when I set them each up an account, that was, thanks for chiming in with that because I completely forgot. So that makes it easier. I actually should go back and do that way so that maybe it'll be a little more accurate. All right, so, you know, once you've done that step of creating your Bitmoji and you've got the extension on your browser, I would recommend that because then it's easy access for, you know, putting it in your actual Bitmoji Classroom, or you can put it in emails, etc. if you want. This is the next step, which, and I'll go into a Google Slides presentation to show how this piece actually works, but I wanted to have some screenshots here. Sorry, for some reason, Apple Music is jumping up in my face. So I'm just gonna quit that. For some reason it was on. Okay, so let me go back. So under Insert in Google Slides, you're gonna go down to Image, and I mean, there are various ways to get images, but the easiest by far, in my opinion, is searching the web right within Google Slides. And the easiest way to create your own background would be doing a search for a wall and floor. Or you can do just a wall and then just a floor, like if you have specific ideas. Like in my Google Classroom, I wanted a turquoise wall. So I did a search for that, and then I did a cement floor. And so I kind of pieced mine together a little bit more. And then also you can do searches for any elements you want in there, your, you know, whiteboard, couch, chair, etc. And this is just your basic background that you would want to keep kind of consistent if you want to have kind of like you would in school, have an actual classroom that's kind of got a theme or whatever. And then this is kind of the neat part with this is you can download the whole background without your Bitmoji in it, without, you know, anything clickable, and then you can reuse it again and again. So say you're gonna change it every week with different clickable links or different videos linked in there. You can just have that standard background that you keep modifying and changing with different things. So this is an example. This is actually a background that Lori Knight created last week, and we put in that Schoology classroom for anyone who was in that training. But you'll see, and actually the template that we put on Schoology that we're going to share out later this week. Oh, sorry. Oh, I guess maybe if I have to be out of presenting mode to show you what I mean. So if I'm in here, sorry, I don't know why I'm having a hard time. Oh, exit, there we go. I have to fully exit, that's what I was trying to do. So you'll see in this one that she created, like the whiteboard is a separate piece that I can move around. The clock is a separate piece, but if I don't want every little piece like that, that's just gonna be my standard background to be movable. what I was explaining in this little, screenshot right here with file, go to download, and then save it either as a JPEG or a PNG file, that's what I could do. So file, download, and then I saved it as a JPEG, and it actually downloaded along the bottom of my Chrome browser, but it's in my downloads folder. And then you'll see here on the next slide, so the whole background is movable all together as one piece. So I don't have the couch and the everything. And then I'm just trying to get it back where it was, kind of right on the slide. So then I can just change out things in front of it. So I have this text box here I just for fun made a bunch of clickable links in there on the whiteboard. And there's me. If you click on me, I might just be showing my Chrome browser, so I don't think that mail window popped up. But you can email me. If you click on my coffee mug that I added, it's connected to motivational quotes for kids. And then here, like on the warm-up, I decided, I'll make a quick Google form for that daily warm-up, and I could change that daily warm-up every day. And for ELA, I just was trying to find simple things, but like this acrostic poem activity. And math, again, I think I can't even remember IXL math, I connected that to that. And then PE, hopefully we'll have in school actual PE, but like, especially if kids are doing remote learning, this is a YouTube video of a HIIT workout. So you can link, you can add, I could add a lot more. I could add something in each of these little cubbies and make those all clickable. But the point is, you can have this background, and instead of every piece being movable, have a consistent background that is just one solid piece, and change out what's in front of it. All right. So now you have this generic background, which I just even already showed more about adding images, but so inserting your Bitmoji, I do want to kind of explain how that works. So if I, was back on this slide, I'll take her out and wanted to insert my Bitmoji. I just go up to that extension I was showing you I have and search for whatever. Say I wanted to change myself to, well, actually, I'll do this one. So it's a little lady pointing. And I can literally, I just usually drag and drop because that's easy for me. And then I can resize. And one thing I even sometimes like to do is I like to crop it so that the big blue box that shows up around isn't quite so big. So if I link different things, it's not such a big area that's clickable. So then, I can put her over here, and actually, as a format option, which I'm going to go over in a minute, I'm going to go, I'll show this in more detail in a minute, but format options, size and rotation, and I'm going to flip it. So then she's pointing in the other direction. So I can insert an image of my Bitmoji like that. The other option would be, instead of just literally dragging one of the Bitmojis, is just right clicking on it. So let's see, I can never remember. Because I never, okay, yeah, so on my MacBook, it's Control and then my mouse. So I can copy image or save image and then insert it. But bottom line, you got your Bitmoji in there, and then I can start adding some other images. So I'll go back here just for the kind of the direction. So insert, so I'll go up to the top menu, insert, image. Again, like I was saying before, I like search the web. And there's kind of two options for finding images that don't have kind of a border or a white background behind it. Either searching transparent and then whatever you want, so like transparent couch, transparent whiteboard, transparent rug, or if you have one you really like the look of that does have some kind of a background to it, this site remove.bg I found super simple to use to remove a background. So I'll demonstrate both of those right now. So I'm going to go back to this classroom and insert image, search the web. So you see here I did transparent coffee mug, actually was a recent search. So I found a mug that didn't have any white space behind it. But let's add a ball, transparent ball. Oh, except the problem with this is it's literally finding, so that may or may not work, but this, okay, there we go. That one kind of works where it doesn't have a background. Some of these are literally finding like the more literal sense of a transparent ball. But so if I'm gonna insert that, and here's my huge ball. Of course, I'm gonna grab one of those corners using my mouse and size it way down and put it in one of the cubbies. So you know, you just kind of move it around so you get it where you want. And so that's that one option of searching with the search term, transparent, and then whatever item you actually want. But say I really had a specific idea of something I wanted that was, you know, had a background. So even this one, for example, this has all that background to it. My other option would be clicking on this little preview image, tiny little magnifying glass in the corner. So then I can find the source of it and going to that actual source. And this is definitely a little clunkier way to find things or to get items. But I can then download it. I think it should be downloading. For some reason, it's got a Grammarly ad, so maybe I clicked on it, some random ad. Let me try that again. Oh, sorry, download original photo. I clicked the wrong download. So it's downloaded down over here. It's on, you know, in my downloads folder, but also along my also along the bottom of my Chrome browser. So then I can go to that remove.bg website, and I've linked that right here. And I can remove everything but the actual ball. And I found this super easy because you don't have to have an account or anything. You can either upload or literally just drag and drop the file anywhere on the whole screen, which is what I just did. It's removing the background, which I'm not quite sure how it'll work with this one. I'm kind of curious to see what it'll do. And usually it doesn't take too long. This one's taking a little longer. And maybe it's just a little confused with So maybe I should try a different one. See if I have any. Good ones here on my desktop. Okay, so that's what I was trying to show. That one took a little longer. So now, I literally just have the ball. It took everything else out. And you can even click up here on edit if I wanted to do a little bit more. Like I can even erase like a little bit more of the ball or whatever if I just wanted half of it. And then I download it again, download it here with the background removed. And then I would, again, that downloaded to my downloads folder. So I know I'm doing a lot of jumping around, but that's kind of what's required for this little more clunky way of doing it. Upload, and I just have to find it real quick. There it is. So that's, again, it's just an option. So if you have something very specific in mind that you wanted, and again, I'm gonna crop the edges of this just so when I go back to link this to something, it's not a huge box that'll kind of sit over other links, if that makes sense. So there we go. So those are kind of the two ways to insert images. And again, the easier way is searching the web and doing the word transparent and whatever item, but there are options. And that explains it in that slide. All right, so now I'm gonna show you, and again, I know it's not as pretty to see my presentation like this as opposed to presenting, but I am kind of interacting with this presentation, so I'm gonna leave it like this. The other important piece is knowing how to both format, which I've already actually gone over a little bit, with the cropping, and then also with the sizing. But there are other aspects of formatting that you can do as well that I'll show you here. And then also arranging your images, which another word to me for arranging is layering. So I can make sure that, like back in here, that the balls are sitting in front as opposed to behind, or that my Bitmoji person is sitting in front of the couch, or the coffee mug, if I wanted to move that and put it on her hand, I can, sorry, I'm gonna go up here to arrange, that's what I meant to do. I can bring to front. So now it looks like it's in front of her hand. So these are two examples. So you see I've got this Bitmoji behind these books. And I made the books small, but if I wanted to make them bigger, I can do that. But if I wanted, for whatever reason, it to be more like this, where the Bitmoji is in front, to do that, again, I just go up to Arrange, Order, and I did Bring to Front. But just for the sake of showing, I'll do Send to Back. So she's hiding. And then, again, click Arrange, Order, Bring to Front. And then I also, one other thing you see here, this is the exact same image, this book's image and this one, the purple one, but I recolored this one. So in order to do that, and just so you know, I do have a slide here that shows this in a little bit more in detail, format options. And then over here are all the different ways you can format either the size and rotation, like I already did that with flipping, but you can also recolor something, position, you can change a lot of different pieces. And then I also have a slide here showing that arrange piece. So arrange, order, and then you have these options. So just to show you how I recolored these books, so they're purple, went to format, and then down here, I just click on recolor, and then down here, you'll see all these different ways of recoloring. And the original one was multicolored, but for recoloring, it seems to pretty much be the standard thing. You can only recolor it kind of shades of the same color, so I could change it if I wanted. And again, if I wanted to flip it, I could flip it so it's kind of oriented differently, and resize, and I think you get the drift. So those are a couple other things to be aware of for how you're placing things in your classroom. So then moving on, I know I'm going kind of fast, but I will have plenty of time for questions, and then also I can just kind of show the basics again if anyone needs more detail on anything when I'm done. So just to very specifically show how to link things, because you can either link words or images. So those are the two things you can link. So I actually, in this, I'm going to say text. I'm going to change my presentation as we go. So link text or images to videos, sites, surveys, audio, etc. So like you see here, I linked this to a spelling city vocabulary words activity. And I linked the books to a YouTube read aloud of a kid's book. And I could, say I had this in my classroom all the time and just changed out the book every few days or whatever. And then I linked my person. It's actually linked directly to the site with the audio, but there's also this little speech button to play kind of right within it.
Good morning, everyone. Get going on today's warm-up and then click on the book and you can listen to a read aloud. Then we'll get going together as a class.
So that's an option too. The one caveat I will say about adding the audio like that, where it's literally just audio, I did find that when I download this whole classroom, so this is my kind of work in progress innovation center. If I had audio in here, when I downloaded it, everything was still clickable except that little audio button. So I ended up taking it out. So I'll go over that more in a second. But how to actually do the linking, I will first unlink this. Should unlink it. Oh, sorry, unlink, remove link. So, and then I actually had that as white text at some point. And then, but to link it, I just need to highlight it, go up to this little link, insert link button up here, and then find whatever I want. And you can actually even search right in here. So if I wanted to find Spelling City, there we go. So then that's gonna link right to that. And then same thing, I can unlink this, and just to show to link, I go click on the little link icon. I'm not sure if I can search a YouTube read aloud in here. Let's see, let's play around. Okay, so the Lorax read aloud picture book on YouTube popped right up. Sure, let's do it. And you could probably do, yeah, like a specific title, like the Lorax read aloud. So those are the ways to link either a picture or words. And this site, which I do link here for the word audio, is called Vocaroo, and I'll just show you that real quick. Because it is, if you do want to try to add just straight audio, it's a very simple, again, no account required. I literally, well, this is, oh, sorry, this is the one I already created, but if I, so I'll change that link because I accidentally, so just Vocaroo, here's Vocaroo, the main, if you do a search for it or click on the links I have in the Google Slides. I literally just click on this microphone, start talking. This is a test, I'm just recording, blah, blah, blah. Stop, and then that 4 seconds was recorded. I can either redo it if I click this, or I can save and share. It's as simple as that. The one piece to that is you do have to kind of, it's a little clunky where you can download it, and then to insert it, I did have to upload it to my Google Drive. Because if you go here to insert an audio, that was kind of what I was limited to. I was limited to really only searching in Drive. So my Drive, shared drives, shared with me, or recent. So I did have to download this. So again, it's a little clunkier, but it is possible. And then this last thing I wanted to show you is then, so I've in Google Slides, and just to be clear, that's what I've created this Bitmoji is in a Google slide, but I literally just have one. I'll go over here so you can see it. It's a Google Slides presentation, but it's literally just one slide. However, I could make various iterations of this, like I was explaining, if I saved the background and then had different weekly classrooms, or but when I want to go down or to the point of sharing this, I create a PDF. So I go to File, Download, kind of like I did when I was just saving the background, but to make sure everything, all my links are still clickable, I do need to save it as a PDF. And you know what? I think that actually is saving this whole entire presentation. So I'll show you in here how I would do that. So then, and I'll show you why that's kind of important. So then if you're sharing it in a Google Classroom or in Schoology, it will all be clickable. So I'm gonna go over here, actually to Schoology, to show you how, this isn't in the course template, we have it, but so within this welcome folder, oh, sorry, I guess I'm not logged in. Hold on. Oh, sorry, I'm going to the wrong. There we go. I used to use Schoology for another job, so I still have just the regular Schoology, not the RSU 39 Schoology. So then if I, in my classroom on Schoology, share it, here in materials in my welcome folder, and I can change it out anytime I want. But here it is, and it opens within Schoology, and then everything, like I said, is clickable. It's taking a second to load, but it's all there. So then if I click on myself, an email box will pop up. If I click on this 3D printer, it goes right to Tinkercad, a 3D printing design software that kids have used. So I can, you know, have anything in there that I want kids, or if you do it more like a daily warm-up agenda type thing, you can have, you know, kids maybe know every day I go to my Google or my Bitmoji Classroom and I click on the first activity and then do this follow-up survey or whatever. And actually here I've linked it to Schoology, like a tutorial of using Schoology. This is to an augmented reality tutorial that I created on YouTube. So you can just have it all right there for your students. So again, for sharing that, you download it as a PDF when you're, have your final version for the day or the week or month or however long you want that one for. And if I wanted just this page, I'm not sure, there probably is a way I could just, so say I had a bunch of slides in here and wanted to just do one saved as a PDF. There probably is a way. I'll kind of look into that and see if I can share a little more in the follow-up email I'm going to send. But that is kind of the quick and dirty of creating a Bitmoji Classroom. So I hope that wasn't too fast. I hope that was clear. And I am here and available for questions. Or maybe you just need to dig into it and try it. And as I mentioned, there are templates that Lori Knight created that will push out within the week. Both the one I showed you, and then there's just a little variation on that. So if you'd rather not have to figure out the whole background piece, or creating a whole background and are fine with just kind of a simple background that she's already created, you can start with what she's created as a template and then do the other pieces from there.
Maureen?
Yes.
Would you have a different Bitmoji Classroom for each class that you teach?
I would not, but I guess it really depends on the teacher, what you want to, and it depends on how you go about your day. And maybe you'd have one that's pretty consistent, but just save a couple different PDFs. Because like in Schoology, for example, you'd have section 1 for your period 1 group of 7th graders, section 2 for your period 2 group of 7th graders. So you could have a slightly different Bitmoji Classroom PDF that you put in each classroom.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. And actually, one other quick thing I'll show, because I just realized that this might be helpful as well on that note. If I wanted to have various versions of a classroom with the same background, or even various elements that were the same. So this is the Bitmoji Classroom templates that Lori Knight created. But if I wanted to import this or this to a brand new slides presentation, I could do that. So, so if I, just create a new presentation, import slides, and then any Google Slides presentation I either have created or has been shared with me, I can, start out with a slide from there, and even just pick one of the slides. Say I wanted just to pick this version. So I actually will just delete this first one. So this slide, then I could even just change around some things before saving it as a background. And so hopefully that makes sense. But you do have that option under File, Import Slides to kind of recreate again and again without having to copy and paste or reinvent the wheel. So yeah. Any questions? Hope I haven't overwhelmed anyone. And of course, any questions that come up once you're starting and trying, just let me know. If I don't know how to do it, I'll try to figure it out because I like to do that stuff. I have fun playing around with this stuff. Yeah, and Lisa, great point. You can also make a copy and rename the slideshow. So that would be like when we push out that template that Lisa Anderson, not Lisa Anderson, you're Lisa Anderson, Lori Knight has created. It can just be make a copy and rename, because we'll share it as view only. But you could do that again and again with your own. If you make one, you can make a copy and rename just that one slide.
Maureen, this is Gail. When you have your clickable links, is there any way to tell who has looked at them or who has seen them?
That's a good question. No, as far as I know, no. But I can't say that with 100% certainty. The one thing I guess you could maybe do is if you want to know if a student has looked at something, have some kind of follow-up activity, you know, like even a quick Google form, or, you know, with 3 questions, like after viewing this video, or as I showed in that Google form, you can have things, you know, you could have, I'll go back actually one more time just to show this Google form I created that, so I linked this whole daily warm up, and like within that I have a video, but you could have different things linked right within here and then some questions or something, so you know that the student has interacted in some way with the content. So that I guess would be one option. Oh yeah, and Martina has a good point. You can make one area of your room for 6th grade and another for 7th grade with their own links. So just kind of depending on how you wanna set it up. And I haven't tried this, but one other idea that just popped in my head, say you had 2 slides, kind of like the one I was just showing you of Lori Knight's with the 2 different templates. If you had 2 slides and you saved that whole thing as a PDF, in theory, and I'll have to play around with this, but in theory, there might be 2 pages. So you could even just within the same classroom, if you're working with even various grade levels, like I know Martina, you sometimes do when you've brought kids down. If like in day treatment or in special ed classes or whatever, you have mixed ability or mixed age or whatever, you could perhaps have 2 pages within the same PDF. So I'll play around with that, but I don't know for sure right now. So yeah. Well, I will hang out if anyone does have any questions. But as I said, I've recorded this, so I will send out the recording and the Google Slides presentation with all the clickable links within there. And just let me know if you have any questions, either now or via email at any time.
I have one question.
Okay.
You can look up how to save one slide in a Google slideshow. That would be great.
Okay.
I wanted to do that the other day, and I just played around with it and played around with it, and somehow I figured it out. But guess what? Do I remember? Mm-mm.
All right. Well, yeah, and it's weird because in that download anyway. So you want to be able to download it, or you want to just
yes, download one slide, save one slide, pull it out of a slide presentation.
Yep. And you can well, I can go back real quick because it's funny on that download option. You can, you can download, so the JPEG image or the PNG image, or even the scalable vector graphics, which that would be for more like 3D or laser printing. So those is just the current slide, where everything else.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I don't know how you downloaded it.
I was trying to do a PFD. I didn't want a JPEG, but.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I can experiment with a little bit, is how to.
Yeah,
The
that's
only
great.
quick thought I have is sometimes in print functions, you have the option to save as a PDF. And just like when you only want to print one page, you can also usually save just one page as a PDF. So I'm just going to check here real quick. So open PDF preview or open PDF. But it might not be clickable the same way if you did that. So yeah, that's the only issue I could see with that. But I'll keep playing around with it, but also, oh yeah, so here, if I open it in PDF preview and only wanted to save a single page of it as a PDF, I can do that. But again, and this isn't, of course, a clickable one, but so I'll try that later. I'll put some clickable items in there and see how that works.
Thank you. Could you tell us again how you got your Bitmoji as an extension? What do you do?
You go to just the Bitmoji website.
Yep.
And so when you get to that page, this is, what it looks like. But if you scroll kind of all the way down to the bottom, Bitmoji for Chrome. I mean, you can add it to these different.
So if I already have Bitmoji, I have to still do this?
Well, it would just be if you want it as an extension, which just makes it really easy. So if I clicked on that, I already have it on Chrome, but this gives me the option to remove it. So then it's just kind of, it shows down here how it's just kind of always up there. So it's easy to click on.
Yes.
If I can jump in,
Sure.
Tina, once you have your Bitmoji, you can insert it in your email also.
Mm-hmm.
I can insert in my email.
Yep.
So like in your Gmail for school.
Yep.
If I go to I can show you here. If I go to my Gmail for school, although I actually use the desktop mail program mostly, so I don't have it like directly connected to that. But say I was going to compose a message, a brand new message within here. It's taking a minute. But I even have, you see down here.
Right. How'd you get it there?
Again, since I have it as an extension.
It will show. Okay.
So I can just insert whatever I want in my email, which is kind of fun. Especially working, from home when we are remote, if you're emailing with students or whatever, to have a way to interact a little more personally or in a fun way.
Mm-hmm.
So. Let's see if anyone else, okay. Well, again, I will hang out if anyone has more questions. And yeah. Otherwise, thanks for joining. It's fun. Doing this training, like I knew a lot or a good amount just from playing with it myself, but I learned more even getting ready for this. So thanks for the excuse to learn more because it was fun.